when you're down and troubled, and you need a helping hand, and nothing, whoa, nothing is going right. Just close your eyes and think of me, and soon I will be there to brighten up, oh, even your darkest night. You just call out my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running just to see you again. Winter, spring, summer, fall, all you gotta do is call, and I'll be there. Yes, I will. Now ain't it good to know that you've got a friend when people can be so, so cold? They'll hurt you and they'll desert you. They'll take your soul if you let them. Oh, but don't you let them. No, no. You just call out my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running just to see you again. Winter, spring, summer, fall, all you gotta do is call, and I'll be there. Yes, I will. And I'll be there. Yes, I will. And I'll be there. Yes, I will. Yes, you got a friend. Yes, you've got a friend. Yes, you've got a friend. Yes, you've got a friend. Oh yeah, good morning.
Nice.
Thank you.
So you need to do a melody where you do that and you slowly go in and then you go, you got a friend in me.
Yeah.
So that's Mr. Jason Goldstein. Let's give him some love.
Good morning, everybody.
Welcome, everyone. My name is Reverend Dr. Michael McMorrow. I'm the senior minister here at the Center for Spiritual Living. And if you're joining us online for the first time, welcome. And we welcome all who practice their beliefs and faith and love. So I hope for those of you online that you'll join the chat, say hello, good morning, or ciao, whatever. And I want to give a shout out to our pal Thibaut out in France, who's been under the weather. He was going to join us yesterday. And so we're just going to know perfect health for him as he in his recovery. So if you're online, make sure you tell Jason how wonderful he is. I know he goes and checks for that after the service.
It's true.
Yeah.
Yum. Thank you.
Well, you should if you don't, because people are saying nice things about you behind your back. All right, and speaking of saying nice things about people, our assistant minister, Reverend Nancy Woods, is our presider today. That's always a fun and poignant day. Yeah, all right. So let's just take a deep, conscious breath together. As we release, allow ourselves to use the breath to anchor us in this moment. As we come together for our call to service, which we call lighting the flames of faith. And we perform this ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all peoples, all faiths, all sentient beings come from the one great universal presence, which we call spirit. The fundamental to this truth is the unifying nature, is the nature of all religious thought and experience, which we honor here today. You think after 20 years I'd have this memorized by now. So for the first candle, as Reverend Nancy lights the first candle, is for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light the second candle for shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. We light the third candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. The fourth candle we light for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. The fifth candle we light for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. The sixth candle we light for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light the seventh candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. We light the eighth candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. The ninth candle we light for all forms of new thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. We light the 10th candle for all those who are as yet unaware of the power and presence of spirit in their lives, for the space we hold for them here in our sanctuary, within our online community, and of course within our own hearts. And now, as Reverend Nancy lights the healing candle, let's please put silently into the light the names of anyone you wish to have experience the healing flame of God's eternal love.
There is one flame that burns in our hearts. There is one light that shines through our love. We light this flame with faith. We light this flame with faith. We find this light within our own souls. There is one flame, one light within.
And today we really appreciate the idea and understanding that that light within that we are recognizing and embracing is the divine presence of life. And how great it is to know that it is in every soul, every being. Everything that is has this divine presence. It is this divine presence saying yes to life. The awareness and understanding that this truth is the reality of being brings us together this morning in this hour to share in how willingness and openness and acceptance of this truth as that which we are living from, to understand and to appreciate the idea of who and what we are is how the beingness of life, the greatness of life, the creator of life brings forth this plane of action into manifestation. Knowing the greatness of ourselves has chosen to be the physical part of this as it has brought forth this body expression as the means and ways and for it to experience the humanistic beingness. We also embrace the idea and the understanding that this awareness and this understanding is forever growing and forever changing and evolving in such a way that we are growing in the expanded intelligence of the universe. How we create our life experience, how we be with each other, and all of life as we have been experiencing becomes a greater awareness and a greater understanding of the current moment and what it is offering us. Knowing that the music, the message, and the supportive system that brings the sound forth to it, to each one of us, is all part of spirit saying yes to our willingness to receive that which we are here to receive. And know that the blessing begins in this moment and grows and expands as the hour opens up into expression. All of this we are grateful for and understanding and appreciation for it as we say thank you together and allow ourselves to receive and we acknowledge it by saying together, and so it is. Thank you. Oh, more people. I was thinking about what I was going to share, and this morning I had one idea, and it started at one way and it ended up a little bit broader than I expected, because I'm reading Troy. I haven't been in Troy's book. Troy, in case you are wondering, is one of those people that started this whole philosophical movement, the thinking of it, and that was a kind of a foundational person for Ernest Holmes, who brought Science of Mind into this particular Center for Spiritual Living or Religious Science. But Troy is one of the those were the longest sentences I ever seen in my life. The sentences are a whole paragraph. But I've learned to appreciate the man because his ability to think things in, I'm learning that it was on such a level that each time I read it, I expand my understanding of the truth. So this new thing that I just got from him, and he was talking about intelligence being the key point of how we the aliveness, the humans at this point of intelligence, and we go on matter down to the solid matter, even though we know all of it is spirit. But this is his process where he goes through explaining this for us. And I was reading a sentence, and all of a sudden, it hit me. Because he said that you start with this intelligence, and you create in your life experience. And I thought about it, and I was thinking about the ideas and how we get those ideas from all these people in all these books. And then, we think that we got it. And the more we can take in and the more philosophy we can understand, we think we're smarter and we are more intelligent. And so we getting all excited about this knowledge. But then you keep growing, and then you realize at one point, knowing this, you got to let that go and allow the true intelligence of that which created 100 trees and gave every one of them a different green. You got to allow that intelligence that created all that sand on the beach, and every grain of sand is unique. That intelligence is what you're reaching for. Because that intelligence, you don't have to struggle with, you don't have to fight against, you don't have to reject us. You just be. And when it flows, and its foundation, the foundation of it is even beautiful. The foundation is love. So it really is. It's amazing to think of the solid, the rock doesn't have an intelligence, to man has all this intelligence, and then we realize that there is the ultimate intelligence, the divine flowing through us. And it brings a constant expression of newness. It brings a physical form that knows it is whole. It brings a life that knows that it is the joy of being. It is the love and the beauty. It is that which exists in expression. It is everything we reach for. It is everything that we can possibly create with the new ideas of the desires of the heart. It is so phenomenal that to surrender to it is awesome. And then you got Rumi that tells you that there's a masculine and that there's a feminine aspect of life. And you're trying to figure out how that fits in. And then you realize that every being has a masculine and a feminine. And that part of that learning is to blend that and to know that. And when we know that each one of us has that, it allows us to know that we don't have to reject anything out there. All of life is here to help us manifest and express being. It is amazing. It's so awesome to know that people knew this years, and we've been trying to figure it out. And last night when I got it, I couldn't even read anymore. I had to get up and walk around the room. Like, now I know why my parents shouted when they felt the Spirit. I was so happy to understand, because, I knew that when the kids start, my nephew told me about non-binary, but when those kids start telling me about the he and the them and the she, and I kept saying, what is this about? I didn't quite, kids taught me long ago that you just go ahead and accept the new changes. You got to figure it out what it means. So I've been trying to figure it out. But they are telling us, when we learn that we are female and male in one unit, we will learn how to accept everything out there as part of what's helping us grow and understand being and life. Oh, I feel so free. I mean, I don't have to get mad at those people in Washington no more. Whew. I don't have to reject what's going on in my country. I just got to figure out what it's trying to teach me and what I am going to do and grow from it. And I don't depend on nobody out there. I don't depend on no one outside of it for this lesson to be mine. Oh. It's freedom, you guys. And welcome to it.
In this moment, in this place, I remember who I am, letting fear and worry fall away from me. I open my eyes and I see there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only when I lose myself, when it seems I've lost my way, when I go inside and quiet my mind, I can hear spirits say, there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only, there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love.
Thank you, Lord.
Nice message. We get it? That love is still the bottom line. Yeah. Beautiful. Jason.
See?
But it is. Thank you, Jason.
Thank you.
That is just perfect, perfect answer. No.
Thank you.
I love, do you just love how he just makes love to the piano? It's oh, it's like a romance. Thank you. Oh, I'm supposed to do these announcements. Y'all sure have a lot of announcements. Well, I guess it's a good plus, huh? Okay. All right. This Wednesday, we have another discussion group. And so if you want to participate in just talking about spirituality, come with us. So Reverend Maureen and I will be doing that again. On Thursday, there's always a Tai Chi with Nancy. She helps you move and learn how to appreciate the joints in your body. On March the 9th, we have the Law of Attraction, and that's always enriching experience, I would say. It brings your mind up into a new way of thinking. On March the 12th, and Kitty would do a Taizé service on, this we call her Kitty, Catherine Hack, a religious science practitioner, is doing a Taizé service on March the 12th. So, with all that said, I think that's all. Okay, that's enough. That's enough. Thank you. I know. I'm trying to stay on track. You can stand and say the Declaration of Principles with me. We believe in one universal spirit manifested through all and actually incarnate in us. We believe that the universal spirit is personal too and reveals itself through everyone who recognizes its presence. We believe that our faith operates upon the law of mind, which automatically manifests in our experience according to that faith. We believe in the unity of all life, in the immortality of the individual soul forever expanding. We believe in eternal goodness, eternal loving kindness, and the goodness of life to all.
I am the heart, I am the hands, I am the voice of spirit on earth, and who I am, and all I do is a blessing to the world. We are the heart, you are the hands, you are the voice of spirit on earth, and who you are, and all you do is a blessing to the world. I am the heart, I am the hands, I am the voice of spirit on earth, and who I am, and all I do is a blessing to the world. We are the heart, we are the hands, we are the voice of spirit on earth, and who we are, and all we do is a blessing to the world, is a blessing to the world, is a blessing to the world.
Very nice. So, Reverend Nancy, I think I should sit down and you should come up and finish that excellent talk this morning. So, yeah, let's give Reverend Nancy some love. And you're going to chuckle at how much in alignment we are this morning without checking in with each other. And Jason, what a nice job.
Thank you.
Yeah, Karen Drucker. And you know what I was thinking? I just want to express some gratitude to Christy Guyman, longtime member, who made a donation that allowed us to buy this gear. And to have someone, a maestro, right? Because it's not just about the keys, it's knowing how to use, it's electric piano, and you really know how to use it, and just brings such nice things to it. So thank you, buddy. Yeah, let's give him some love. All right. Enough of that flattery stuff.
Get me out of here.
Yeah, exactly. Except you're good, brother. Except you're good. All right, so today's Navigating the Tides of Life. That's our theme for that's our talk title today, and our theme is the flow of coming and going. The flow of coming and going. So, I guess we'll just see what I did with that today, shall we? And it is the first Sunday in March, which means that our annual general meeting is coming up on March 16th. So everyone is invited to that, including people who are not official members. You can't vote, but you are certainly welcome to come see. You'll get an annual report on what we've been up to. And so I just want to invite, and we have food. Food afterwards seems to be the big attraction around here. So whether you're brand new, never been here before, this is your first Sunday, if that is the case, you are most welcome, and also most welcome to join us at the general meeting as well. And there's nothing like church food, just saying. Comfort food a la church. And then yesterday we had our second session, finished our Creating Beloved Community sessions, where we explored how we would do that, what it would take to do it, and what would need to be shifted, really mostly within ourselves. And people really were able to share deeply on some things, and I think folks really got a sense of more connection with the people who participated. Is that true, folks who've been there? Yeah. So give yourselves a hand for, that was 2 Saturdays, 4 hours plus a clip, yeah. And so I just want to thank all who attended, and including those who wanted to attend but couldn't make it. So stay tuned, because this is going to be a continuing project as we move forward, and there'll be more information on that in the weeks to come, and we had to prep for this general meeting, as I mentioned. So with the theme for the month of March being the flow of coming and going, I have to say that my initial thought was about, this guy, the little guru with the man bun. Maybe I'm just jealous. I guess I thought that was funnier than you guys do, apparently. But then, of course, there's also hippie chicks. So that's your grandmother's probably up there somewhere, maybe your mom. Yeah, or it could be Topanga Canyon today, I'm not sure. But this was actually more my experience in that era, although this also could have been my roommate from college, John. But a Corvair and a Chevy Nova were both part of our experience, to be sure. So many of us are familiar with the term "go with the flow," yeah? So that's what it evokes for me. Maybe you have a different idea of what all that is, or maybe you're just praying that he doesn't tell another joke for the rest of this message. But but this theme is a little different, has a little different wrinkle to it than just a simple go with the flow kind of thing. It's the flow of coming and going. With today's talk title, Navigating the Tides of Life. And so I found this image this is up in La Push, Washington. Well, I just liked it, so I thought it hit home. This notion of the flow of coming and going hits home these days as all of us within our own lives, regardless of where we find ourselves navigating. So whether we're navigating life, living life on the overflow, or we just managed to pull rent together this month, we are all navigating. Right? We're navigating relationships, we're navigating our careers, we're navigating life. The question really becomes, do we know where we're headed? Do we have a sense? Do we have a sense of what we're navigating with? So I love this image that I have this morning, for it is not only a photograph of a beautiful daybreak moment at La Push, Washington, but also evokes an image of the rise and fall of the tides against something huge and seemingly solid. And yet even this solid monolith is subject to the comings and goings of flow, as with our own lives. So are we working with the tide or against it? Are we directing or allowing ourselves to be pushed around by the flow of life? Do we understand that we create the vehicle by which we can direct our life in spite of how we perceive the flow to be going? Right? So imagine a boat without a rudder. Right? You wouldn't successfully get around very well. Right? So now in the human condition, of course, we are not working with the flow of water. We are working with the flow of life. And this flow is more than just a metaphor. It's a metaphysical power that we can utilize to effect change for good in our life and in the lives of others. But we're often not aware of it. Or maybe what I should say is that our awareness kind of ebbs and flows with the attention that we give to it, in the ways that we can be pulled off of it and distracted. It's a target-rich environment right now to be distracted by the things of this relative world. So what is it that we're looking for? What is it that we're navigating this flow with? So there's a story by Ernest Holmes in his book, This Thing Called Life. And so just imagine with me and with Ernest, we can imagine a fish being told that they are surrounded by water, but not quite realizing what this means. We can imagine such a fish swimming north, south, east, west, up, down, in search of water. If we think of this fish as a person, we can even imagine them looking up the books of fish lore, studying fish psychology and philosophy, always endeavoring to discover just where the waters of life are and how to approach them. See how I told you this is going to fit right in, right? And perhaps some old wise fish might say, it has come down to us through tradition that in ancient times our ancestors knew about a wonderful ocean of life. They prophesied the day when all shall live in the waters of life happily forever. And then can't we imagine all the other fish getting together, rolling their eyes, wiggling their tails, looking wise and mysterious, and beginning to chant, "Oh, water, 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 we beseech you, reveal yourself to us. We beseech you, flow around us and through us, even as you did in the days of our revered ancestors." Holmes continues, as a matter of fact, we are in the water of infinite life, as the fish is in the ocean. The spirit of life is all around us. It flows through us. It permeates everything. It is the essence of all form and flows through every condition. And yet we still look for it. And he finishes this story by saying, what we look for, we unwittingly look at, but fail to recognize. So there's a lot to take from that. And, he probably pulled that from Rumi. I don't know. That's where I first heard this idea that we're swimming in it. But I certainly know how I get pulled off of my center and how I forget that I'm no longer playing with a notion of God that's been put in a box, but rather has been released from the bondage of what? Of me. Release of the bondage of my thinking about what I think it can or cannot do within my own understanding of what that means. And this is the first big challenge when we come to a teaching like this, is to deconstruct what we understand the divine to be. So from the tradition I came from, to say to acknowledge a Holy Spirit, what does that mean really? So when I was a kid, we started calling it the Holy Ghost, right? Well, that's kind of spooky. In those days, you really were afraid of ghosts. In that way of the cowardly lion. I do believe in spooks, right? Whenever something became difficult, we kind of reverted to superstitious ways of being without understanding that we were being superstitious, by the way, which we can do in this teaching also, right? So we have an errant thought, and then we go, oh my gosh, I can't think like that, right? Well, we do think. We think all kinds of crazy thoughts, right? But what manifests is the tendency of our thinking, the tendency of our thought. Now, why is that? Because it's impressing itself upon something that is greater than we are. It's impressing itself upon the flow of life as law. Law of what? The law of its own being. The law of its own being that is only creative. It knows only to create. In fact, Holmes says all the time, we cannot help but be creative. We cannot help but be creative. We are creating life one moment at a time. So this week, Reverend Blanca Mejia, who is the Director of Education, she's a native Spanish speaker. She is the director now of the School of Leadership for Religious Science, or Centers for Spiritual Living in Latin America. And she writes this, that we live in a world of constant movement where life, small l life, may feel like it is moving from left to right, up and down. So much false information in the cyber world can lead us to a false awakening of the ego. She has that in quotes, an awakening of the ego. This is the mental image or idea of who we are that comes from our cultural and social conditioning, but is not really who we are. In the Science of Mind teaching, we know that which is apparently real to our senses is part, is part of the world of effects, and that there is one divine cause which is indivisible, already complete and whole within itself, which creates all out of itself. And this is the principle of oneness or unity. Right? So you have the masculine and feminine as one, right? So Holmes actually called this the androgynous one. And we know today from psychology that all of us have within us a masculine nature and a feminine nature. And relationships, whether they're hetero or not, navigate, right? They navigate this dynamic where sometimes the woman will have a more masculine aspect and the man more feminine, and vice versa. Now, if you're a member of the He-Man Woman Haters Club, you struggle with that for a while. That's a reference to Spanky and our gang, in case. Yeah. Okay. Let me move on. Sometimes you step in it. Now, this is a modern explanation of this thing that we do here called the science of mind and spirit. Here's how Ernest Holmes used to talk about the nature of thought, the nature of reality, and how we can be fooled by thinking that the relative world is the cause of our problems, which they can be, but only because we think the relative is first cause, but it's not. But at the level of the relative, it appears to be so. Holmes teaches that the world we experience is what he called the relative, which he learned from Thomas Troward, right? So we were both traveling along the same wavelength. Thomas Troward being a writer and a judge from India, British, in colonial India. And he wrote a couple books that were very influential. The world in which we live is the relative world. Spirit is the absolute or first cause. What does that mean? Everything is created from spirit. Holmes writes, absolute is defined as free from restrictions. If you can advance that for me. Holmes writes that defined as free from restrictions, unlimited, unconditioned. The unlimited perfect being, the God, right? I would even say it's the LOVE, right? Because we've got to get it out of here. We've got to get it out of the wood and into the flesh, right? We need to get it from our head to the heart. The relative is defined as existence only as an object of or in relation to a thinking mind. a condition of dependence. The absolute being unconditioned is infinite in all, and that is which is, or the truth. It is axiomatic that the truth, being all, cannot be separated, limited, or divided. It must be changeless, complete, and perfect, and uncreated. So he starts picking at this thing. So what does it mean to be infinite? What does it mean to have all power? Does it mean to be eternal? And yeah, he may overthink it a little bit, but people like, I gotta say, people like us are kind of drawn to overthinking this divinity business. And what does it mean? And if it's the first cause of all life, then that means that you and I are divine ideas in the very mind of this living spirit. That we are its logical demonstration of a thought moved within itself, bound only by the law of its own being. That it is having an experience of itself by means of the creation that it has created. So it's having an experience of itself as ocean. It's having an experience of itself as a Lamborghini, an experience of itself as a child, an experience of itself as love shared between two of its creatures. What this means is that we are co-creating with this divine substance. Well, that's kind of a two-headed snake. It's like, on the one hand, it's like, I feel so powerful. And on the other side of that, it's like, what an order. I can't go through with it. Right? Because there is a personal responsibility component to this. Right? Because once we understand it, we're no longer victimized by the world. But what has to change is we have to shift our perceptions and our awareness of how the relative world is affecting our absolute peace, which is indwelling and available to us. When? At all times. But we have to bring our attention to it. And that takes what? Practice. Jason didn't start out as a virtuoso piano player. At some point, he was playing basic scales, like probably at 2 or something, but still. I have no idea where I am here. So relativity is not a thing. I want to say the relativity in the modern usage, we can get confused with Einstein's relativity, which is something different, right? The relative is not a thing of itself, but only that which functions within the absolute. So this relative world is still part of the world of the Most High, of the absolute, and depends upon it. We wish to affirm the relative without destroying absoluteness. In other words, we don't want to get so caught up in the world that we forget that there's an infinite power of which we are engaged with. But we want to use it consciously, because the truth is we're using it unconsciously all the time. Right? So as we heal those unconscious, as these unconscious aspects come forward, and then we heal it with what? With love, really. Right? We stop overthinking it, and we just start practicing. This can be done only by realizing that the relative is not a thing apart from, but is an experience in the all-comprehending mind. The relative does not contradict the absolute, but affirms it. And the relative alone guarantees that there is an absolute. Right? So it's a both and situation. And I got to tell you, that's some old school religious science right there, which we don't hear much anymore. And Holmes, I mean, I'm reporting what Holmes wrote. I'm sorry, did not write. He spoke extemporaneously, and a stenographer, took down the notes. Right? But you and I do not have to be Ernest Holmes. We just have to be Saul, or Marcy, or Jamie, or Sammy. We just have to be who we are. And to know confidently that we are an expression of the Most High. Right? So yeah, maybe we don't have the walking on water thing down yet. Right? But we do understand that the infinite possibilities of life are available to us every time we invite the infinite power and presence of the divine into the mix. And again, that's a practice makes perfect kind of thing. Because I can think of all kinds of ways that I get pulled off of forgetting that there is a power for good in the universe available to everyone, even me. And I can utilize it. I can use it. So maybe we can just play with that. This idea of knowing that this world in which we live, move, and have our being is an expression of both a co-creation, a co-creative demonstration of our mind with the mind of God, of our intelligence interfacing with a divine intelligence, an individualized creativity interfacing with the universal creative aspect of life, the individualized expression of love, expressing itself as the one universal heart of the Most High. In this way, its sacred heart is our sacred heart. That we commit in this moment to not play small with this truth, to allow ourselves to consider the ways in which we could courageously allow its a more full and complete realization, even actualization of this love as the love of our life, or the love of life as the law of our life. Experiment with that today. Take it into your work week. See if something shifts. And then let's come back and report in with each other next week.
By day, oh dear Lord, these things I pray, to see thee more clearly, to love thee more dearly, to follow thee more nearly, day by day. by day. Oh dear Lord, three things I pray: to see thee more clearly, to love thee more dearly, to follow thee more nearly, day by day by day. Day by day, day by day. Oh, dear Lord, these things I pray: to see thee more clearly, to love thee more dearly, to follow thee more nearly, day by day by day, day by day by day by day by day, day by day. Thank you, man.
Very nice. Jason Goldstein, everybody. Let's give him some love. Love him up in the chat. So let's invite Chloe to bring up our offering basket. If you've come prepared with a gift today to share in person, just make your way up to the basket as you will. We want to give those of you joining us online a moment to send a gift in electronically. As we go into our offering song.
Spirit gives through me, Spirit receives through me, Spirit lives and breathes through me, Spirit lives and breathes through me, Spirit gives through us, Spirit receives through us, Spirit lives and breathes through us. Spirit lives and breathes through us.
Going within for just a moment longer as we recognize that this basket represents both the generous heart of the individual and the receptive heart of this spiritual community. The generous heart of that individual who knows and knows that they know that God is our source, our substance, our supply. And now representing the heart of this spiritual community, we accept these gifts with deep love and respect as together we know they go forth to heal, to prosper, to bless not only this center, but anyone connected to it in any way. From this place of gratitude, we extend a blessing upon our community of Granada Hills, our city of Los Angeles, our state of California, our United States of America, all of its churches, temples, mosques, schools, universities, the people who support them, the people who attend them, the people who support them, that we know for our planet as well in some wonderfully crazy cosmic way. All of it is an emanation from the heart mind of the Most High. And to the extent that we know this to be so, we see its demonstration in ways great and small. This lifts our hearts, allows us to experience a state of grace, of power and joy that propel us into ways of spiritual living that raise not only our own lives, but the lives of those around us. And that's a good thing. And together we acknowledge this by saying, and so it is. Amen. So we have a lot of things happening in the center these days, so make sure you check out the Constant Contact for that. If you are not getting to Constant Contact, all you have to do is sign the guest book out front there and leave your legible email, because that might be why you're not getting it, as we couldn't read it, and and keep apprised of everything. How we doing, Chloe?
We forgot with the love box.
Okay. All right, good.
Says,
Oh,
my cats.
I'm grateful for.
For my cats.
I wonder who that was.
Okay.
Where's Reverend Kathy? All right. Well, we're grateful for your cats, too. All right. All right. Thank you, Chloe. All right, let's give some more love one more time. Well, you can give some love to Chloe if you like. Why not? Mr. Jason Goldstein, our musical inspiration today. And, of course, the wonderful Reverend Nancy Woods, our assistant minister. Let's give her some love and appreciation. Save some for yourselves who made it here on Sunday. What do you know?
So as we express our gratitude for the message, the music, the wonderful people in the sound booth, and all those on audience, and all of you, for united in awareness and willingness to accept and let the spiritual presence of life bless us through that which we reach for, knowing that the message is delivered as a result of our open hearts and our acceptance. So we go forth from this experience. There's a skip in our step. There's joy in our heart. And there's a love in our being that is saying yes to life. For all of this, and this true awareness of who and what we are, we say thank you. And together, we allow it to be a living expression by declaring it together that so it is.
Please join me in singing the peace song.